I'm Jessie Mahoney, and I am a pediatrician and a coach and a yoga teacher. And I do a lot of one-on-one and small group coaching for women, and a lot of teaching yoga, and a lot of running retreats. And I'm super excited to get back to Sagrada, which is a beautiful place to do retreats tomorrow. So this class is sort of my warm-up for teaching yoga twice a day for the next week. And I teach most Saturdays at 9, and I will be here next Saturday too. And I like to have themes for my classes to help us just move through and process whatever might be going on. I usually choose themes for things that are going on with me, and or themes that are popping up for many people in a particular week. And so today's theme is actually kind of a fun and interesting one, and it's going to be about confusion. And so this will be an hour of exploring confusion. And so to start, let's get unconfused and arrive and settle into pausing and feeling simple as we take a look at this idea. And so notice your sit bones connecting to whatever you happen to be sitting on. And if you have a block or a bolster, put that underneath your seat and lift your hips up. Opening your hip flexors. We carry a lot of confusion and tightness and tension in our hip flexors. Tilt your pelvis forward and stack your spine, one vertebrae upon the other, all the way up through your neck, through the crown of your head to the sky. And take in an inhale. And a huge, long, smooth exhale, let it go. And another inhale, bringing the air into your body. Sending it to your fingers and your toes, sending it to every tiny nook and cranny of the lung space. And a long, smooth, purposeful exhale, releasing tension. An inhale of arrival into this moment together in our Zoom space this weekend. And a long, smooth exhale, purposefully slightly longer than the inhale, allowing us to calm our nervous system. And if your hands are face down on your thighs, flip them up towards the sky. We often bring our hands down when we feel tense and tight and struggling, and maybe just off. And so flip your palms open to the sky, open to whatever is in this moment. And as those palms look towards the light, opening your mind to this idea of confusion. And as many of us, we resist and we do not like to be confused. We want clarity. We want a path forward. If we have frustrated, upset, confusing emotions, we want them to go away and we want to fix them. And what's really interesting is the theme I really wanted to do yesterday was trust. And I was thinking about trust, and when you feel trusting, you're in flow. And what came up for me today was confusion. And what's interesting is the answer to confusion is trust. And so when we're confused, can we stop resisting that confusion and all those swirls of emotions that might show up as lumps in your throat, or a spot behind the heart that feels hollow or achy or tight or stressed? And so take the breath and breathe right into wherever that confusion lands. Is it your belly, your heart, your throat? And a huge exhale, softening into it, letting it be, not resisting the confusion, not having to fix, manage, find the answers, push forward, make it better. Breathing into just that tight ball, softening it. And then exhale, let it go. The invitation is to trust that clarity will come. Trust that at some point you will know. That sending the breath and spending time with the confusion, letting it be, is the path forward in and of itself. And as doers and movers and shakers and fixers and managers and controllers, we are amazing people that make things happen, us high achieving women of the world. And yet sometimes we get in our own way. So use the breath here, a long, deep breath, not a short, shallow breath, which is probably your usual. Breathe it into every nook and cranny of tightness and discomfort, and notice if it is uncomfortable. And a huge cleansing exhale, softening right into those tight pockets. Acknowledging that the body does keep the score and that there are those pockets of aches and pains and tension. And that while they might feel physical, and certainly moving them and stretching them and sending breath to them with intention helps, that a lot of those pockets contain these emotions, confusion, frustration, resistance to what is, wanting things to be different, whether it's the jackhammer next door, a husband or an ex-husband, a job, or even just wanting clarity. So many people want to get out of the confusion. The confusion is the problem. The confusion causes discomfort. There's uncertainty in confusion. And we, including me, want to move out of it as quickly as possible. And in our rush to fix and control and manage, we often don't solve the confusion and find the clarity we're looking for. So today's offering is to soften into that confusion. Trust that in it is the answer. Trust that within you, when you soften and let it be, that is where the clarity will come. And taking an inhale into every nook and cranny, letting that breath explore around, trying to find where that confusion in you is held. And on the exhale, let go of the need to fix it and make it go away. Breathing oxygen, healing, spaciousness into those tight, uncomfortable pockets. Throat, chest, heart space, lungs, belly. Perhaps it's in your groin or your hips. Easy, smooth exhale, let it go. And as usual, bring a hand to heart. Press the heel of your hand into that heart space. Release compassion for your desire to fix the confusion. Of course you want to fix it. Of course you want it to go away. Of course it would be better if it went faster. It would be better if you had clarity about the next steps, that you could trust yourself and trust others. But what is there to be learned in the confusion itself? Take an inhale. Connect that heel of the hand into the heart space. Connect with your inner knowing. Exhale, let it go. Bring your other hand atop the torso of the hand. Send the breath into wherever it feels needed. And exhale. And pause and notice the warmth and a bit of spaciousness and a bit of softening. When you allow the confusion to be there and you trust that clarity will come, that there's clarity in there somewhere. It's just not the moment for it yet. The path forward will, of course, emerge when the time is right. And that resisting the confusion, needing it to go away, pushing for a solution may not be the path you would like to choose. May not be the fastest path to where you'd like to be. Take in an inhale once again, right into that heart space, softness for all that is, even for the confusion and for the desire for the confusion to go away and the confusion about the confusion. Breathe it right into the snarls of yarn and tightness and aches and pains, wherever you may hold them, in your quadratus, in your hips, in your hamstrings, and exhale, softening into all of those. Bring your hands to heart center. Rub those palms together. Notice and enjoy the skin to skin, the finger pads touch. Press your thumbs into your sternum, elbows out wide. Take an inhale in through your nose. A huge cleansing, lightening exhale. And set an intention, a wish, an aspiration for the next hour. How would you like to show up for yourself and for whatever spin, confusion, frustration, resistance you may be encountering right now? Where can you let the light in? Opening the cracks, honoring what is, and softening and embracing it. Just allowing what needs to happen and what might shift in that process. What feels right for you? And when you're ready, lower your hands and open your eyes. Perhaps just squinch a shoulder up or two, or roll them, loosen into it a little bit, shake your hands, letting go of the attachment to kind of that frustration and maybe even a negative emotion as we explore it. I always like to bring play and fun and lightness into that exploration. Take your hands and lower them by your sides. Inhale, reach them up high, high, high towards the sky. Take your right thumb and middle finger, grab your left wrist, reach your hands towards the sky. Inhale the breath into your heart space. Engage your belly, stretch tall. Exhale, tip to the right with intention. Lengthen the left side body. Gentle stretch here. Don't overdo it. Tug your left wrist towards the right. Breathe into every nook and cranny of the rib cage that opens up here. With kindness for whatever might emerge there, tug that left wrist gently to the right, softening into you. Inhale, reach up towards the sky once again. Switch the clasp of your hands. Exhale, drop your shoulders gently. Inhale, reach tall once again. Reach tall and long, straight to start. Side body lengthens. Inhale into every nook and cranny. Exhale, tilt to the left. Lengthen the right side body with grace. Notice if you have resistance to that word grace, and see if you can find some grace, elegance in the stretch. Breathe into it with softness, allowing the grace and elegance in the midst of the confusion. Inhaling every nook and cranny. And exhale, release, soften, stretch, lengthen, open, let go. Inhale, come back up to the sky. Release your hands. Lower them down by your sides, out towards the sides and down. Roll your shoulders back 3 times, noticing the tightness and softening into it. Roll them forward 3 times, enjoying the sensations as you begin to move. Scrunch your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Enjoy the release, the tightness, the sensations. Pinch them as high as you can. Exhale, lower them down. And pause for a moment to notice the tingles and the shifts. And perhaps just the softening and the spaciousness. When we even notice and draw attention to what we're carrying, softness emerges. Inhale once again up towards the sky. Engage your belly. Reach your fingers towards the sky. Belly stretch long, long, long. Focus on your navel. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Drop your right hand behind you, left hand to the right thigh. Inhale, reach your spine tall. Crown of the head lengthens towards the sky. Stretches our spine lengtheners. Inhale, tall, tall, tall. Exhale, ring it out towards the right. Noticing any tightness here. Inhale, stretch tall. And exhale, ring out that frustration and resistance to not knowing. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, twist back to center. Inhale, reach towards the sky once again. Notice the side body, lengthen the waist, reach the fingers tall, tall, tall. Exhale, twist to the left, drop your left hand behind, right hand comes to the left thigh. Inhale, immediately sit up tall, lengthen, stand tall and proud in the midst of all the chaos. Nothing to be fixed. Exhale, ring it out towards the left, twist gently. And notice the aches and pains that pop up there, the soreness. Inhale, lift up, tall, 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 tall. Engage your belly. Use your core and your strength. Exhale, ring it out. Letting things go on the breath. Any resistance. One more breath here. Inhale, reach tall, lengthen the body. Exhale, twist. Inhale, both arms up towards the sky. Twist back to center. Exhale your arms out towards the side walls. Wrists flex, press your palms into the side walls. Pinch your scapula together. Exhale, enjoy the release. Inhale, pinch right into that confusion and tightness and frustration and resistance to whatever might be. Other people, your life as it is, sounds around you. Pinch, 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 pinch. Exhale, release. Wrap your arms around you in front, right arm over the left. We're going to give ourselves a huge hug. Wiggle your fingers towards the midline of the scapula, the medial scapula. Take an inhale, sit up tall, tilt your pelvis forward, stack your spine, reach tall, 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 huge inhale. Exhale, fold forward, chin comes into the cradle of your arms, and enjoy the space that pops open in the back. Notice too what you've been holding there. Breathe into it. Exhale, fold forward, stretch with kindness, all that tightness, folding, opening, allowing it. Huge in-breath into every pocket, nook, and cranny. Exhale, fold forward a smidge more. Notice the release and the softening. Perhaps melting is what you may notice. Inhale, unfold, come up to sit tall. Exhale, ground into your hips while hugging yourself still. Untangle your arms, release them out towards the sides. Wrist flex, fingers spread wide, wide, wide. Energy shifting. Every finger spread wide, palms press into the side wall, pinch the scapula again. Lots of tightness, engagement, everything here. Wiggle your fingers with intention. Spread them as wide as you can. Pie shapes, every tiny muscle in the hands engaged. Exhale, release. Wrap your arms in the opposite direction this time. Left elbow under right. If you did that opposite last time, bring those fingers to the medial scapula. Wiggle them as close to the medial edge of the scapula as you can. Lift your elbows up over your chest if it's in the way. Inhale, sit tall, tilt your pelvis, stack your spine, reach tall. Exhale, round forward into the cradle of your hands and enjoy the back open. Huge inhale into every muscle fiber, every alveoli. Exhale, roll forward a tiny bit more. One more breath here. Inhale into every tiny pocket of tightness. All the pockets that want to hide, that don't know, they're frustrated, confused, unsure, doubting. And exhale, release, softening in, letting them be, trusting that it will all sort itself out. The clarity will come. The decisions will come. The actions will come later. Inhale, sit up tall. Once again, still hugging yourself. Take a huge inhale, a huge squeeze here. Exhale, untangle your arms, lower them down. Roll your shoulders out. Enjoy the tingles, sending the breath and the tingles and the energy into every fingertip, perhaps even in your toes. And extend your legs long. If you are on a block or a bolster or a blanket, stay up on it for fun, giving the hamstrings a little bit more length. And if you aren't, no worries. Move the flesh of the seat out of the way with intention and don't fall off the block if you happen to be on it. Extend the legs long in front, ankles flexed, spread your toes wide, wide, wide. Your knees can be bent gently or straight, whatever feels good. Spread the toes wide and notice the energetic shifts coming right in through the backs of the legs, all the way up into your hips. Take a moment, close your eyes, and enjoy the energy here of engaging every toe muscle, every ankle muscle. You can feel the calves wake up. Energy coming up through the legs, right through the glutes, perhaps into your belly, through your back. Connect with your sit bones. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward, stack your spine, puff your chest out. Take a huge inhale into your chest. Use your belly for strength. Hands can rest lightly on your thighs. And exhale, let it go. Press the knees a little closer towards the floor if that's available to you, and flex your ankles a tiny bit more, and just notice all these amazing sensations. Once again, inhale, sit up tall, 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 everything engaged. As you inhale, you may notice different sensations. Breathe into it. Breathing into the tightness and whatever doesn't feel good here, and just soften into it. The twanginess, the confusion, the frustration. You don't like it, and that's okay. And exhale, release everything. Notice how you feel. Point your toes and flex your toes. Point your toes and flex your toes. You can stay up on your block or bolster here as well if you have one. And if not, once again, move the flesh of your seat out of the way to sit right atop the points of the ischial spines. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward once again and stack your spine all the way up with grace through your neck to the crown of your head. Notice your legs, what happens with the tiny shift of tilting the pelvis. Huge inhale into your chest. Exhale, let it go. Tilt forward a tiny bit more. Notice your feet. Spread your toes. Everything engaged. Release your toes. Point your toes and flex your toes. Lots of shifts, even with these tiny, tiny movements. Inhale your arms up towards the sky once again. Lengthen the side body. Exhale, twist to the right. Drop your right hand behind. Left hand comes to where it reaches, perhaps the right thigh. Inhale, engage your belly, strong core, twist to the right. And exhale, ring it out. Lots of twists today. Leaning right into the confusion. Inhale, sit up, tall, tall, tall. Exhale, twist to the right. Noticing the pockets of tightness that open up as you do this. Inhale into the chest, puff it forward gently. Exhale, ring it out. Inhale, both arms up towards the sky. Use your core to twist back to the center with intention. Drop your shoulders. Exhale. Inhale, reach tall, tall, tall once again. Exhale, twist to the left. Left hand tense behind. Right hand comes to the thigh. If you're sitting up atop something, you'll notice this feels a little different. Tilt the pelvis forward for stability. Inhale once again. Lengthen your spine. Reach the crown of your head towards the sky. And exhale, reach it out. Inhale, reach tall. And exhale, ring it out gently. Inhale, both arms up towards the sky. Twist back to center. Open your arms out towards your outer edge of your thighs and draw the soles of your feet together. Come into butterfly pose. You can stay up if you are still up, and if you're on the earth, also fine. Find those ischial spines, tilt your pelvic bowl forward. Notice your inner thighs awaken. Rock a bit on the ischial spines and just notice what happens. Soles of the feet together. Hands can come easily to the arches if that's comfortable, hinging at the waist, or the ankles. Take an inhale fully into every nook and cranny of your chest. We use the breath in yoga with intention to flesh things out and change and shift perspective. Exhale, hinge forward at the waist slightly. It might just be a smidge, an inch, or a lot. Notice how you feel. If you wish, you can bend your elbows, hinge forward a tiny bit more. Knees press towards the floor. Lots of movement and release here. Lots of things shifting, changing. You can rock on those ischial spines if that's fun and feels good. Play into it, enjoy it. When we do things in a playful manner, many more shifts happen than when we're tight or resist or trying to solve things. Perhaps you can even approach the confusion/resistance to things that are, things you don't understand, want to be different, wish were different. Why haven't they happened yet? When we play into those and just say, well, of course I would like them to all fix themselves out. They soften. And perhaps even solutions emerge. Rock a little more on those sit bones and just notice what happens. Your knees can roll side to side. Inhale into the belly. Chest is puffed forward. Back is flat. Exhale, hinge forward a smidge more. Bend your elbows a smidge more if that works for you. Notice your hips. Lots of confusion, tightness held back in that piriformis and the glutes. Breathe into it, all of it. With kindness, compassion, non-judgment, curiosity, it's all there. Notice what opens windows and doors and cracks for you. Exhale, smidge forward a tiny bit more, a little bit intense. Breathe into it and enjoy. Slowly rise back upright. Extend your legs long, and we will come off of whatever we're sitting on. Come to hands and knees. Sweep your feet underneath you and come to tabletop, flat back. You could rest a tray on your back and take a moment to notice, to go within here as you arrive. Spread your fingers wide, take good care of your wrists. All 10 palmar knuckles press into the earth. Wrists are flexed, arms engaged, humeral heads in the shoulder sockets. Come down to your navel. Tuck your navel into your spine. Notice your knees on the floor, tops of the feet on the floor. Inhale into cow pose. Enjoy the stretch in the front of the belly, arch the back, sit bones reach towards the sky, crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Breathe into it. Exhale, round into the most full cat possible. Head drops, spine reaches towards the sky, navel presses high, 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 high. Inhale, come back to cow pose. Fullest cow pose, fullest expression of the pose that works for you. Enjoy it. Take your time and don't just rush through the cat and cow. Move through, sending energy into, as you shift to cat pose, into every tight pocket where the body is keeping the score, where it's holding on to the frustration, where it's resisting, maybe even just ignoring or hiding. One more into cow. And roll your spine up into cat pose. Walk your hands forward and handprint. Spread your fingers wide, curl your toes, and reach your hips up to downward dog. Widen your feet if that feels good to you. Notice what feels good for your downward dog. Lift up under your tiptoes and softly lower your heels towards the floor for the first downward dog. And take a moment here to take good care of you. Allowing the confusion doesn't mean you don't take good care of you. Take exceptional care of you while you're feeling the feels. Spread your fingers wide. All 10 knuckles connect to the floor. Watch your wrists. Both palms connect downward. Inhale into that chest space, the pocket behind the heart that emerges here when you're upside down. Exhale, shift your hips back. Head and neck reach gently towards the floor. Stretch the back lines of the legs. Release your head completely. Shake it yes and no, and maybe whatever you want to do there. Lift up high, high, high onto your tiptoes. Engage all these tiny new fibers waking up in the back of the legs. Drop your right heel, bend your left knee, and enjoy the shift. Moving that energy, opening yourself up to it. Rise up onto the heel of the right. The heel rises up onto the toe of the right foot. Drop your left heel, bend your right knee. Allow that energetic movement to happen in the back of the leg. Use the breath right into every shift on that left side. Energy running up and down the legs, lines of the leg. Exhale, breathe it out. Lift up onto your tiptoes, high, high, high. Hips reach towards the sky. Shift your weight forward. Come directly into plank pose here. You may need to walk your toes back a little bit. Plank pose is top of the push-up. And pause here. Engage your belly. Notice your strength. Up on your tiptoes. Shift your weight forward into your tiptoes. Bend your knees, bend your elbows, lower down chaturanga towards the floor. Third eye connects to the floor. Weight is out of your hands. Pause for a moment with your third eye connected to the floor. Notice how you feel.
any wisdom that comes here, when you're open and receptive to exploring, sometimes the clarity and the answers come. No rush for it to come, but allowing a spot, a space, a pause can be magical. Weight is out of your hands. Inhale, reach your heart forward, come up to low cobra, gently awakening the back, lower back. Exhale, lower down. Notice the tops of your feet on the earth, front of the hip bones connect to the floor. Engage your belly. Inhale once again, low cobra, a slightly higher version. Engage your glutes, reach higher. Exhale, lower down. Walk your hands forward. You're going to come into Sphinx pose. Forearms on the floor, palms on the floor. Spread all 10 fingers wide, equal pie shapes. Notice your hips on the floor. Inhale, reach the crown of your head towards the sky. Heart shines forward. Your lower back opening once again. Breathe into the heart space. Don't overdo this. Don't rise up more than feels safe or comfortable. Exhale, release. Once again, shine your heart forward here in Sphinx. Exhale, lower back down. Press back to child's pose. I prefer knees apart, toes together. Some of you may prefer knees together, toes together. I prefer to reach my hands long in front, but I want to offer the option if some of you want to come into sort of the bug version of child's pose where you're all curled up. Take a moment and pick whichever one feels good. We are being kind to our backs and releasing the back bend. Breathe into your heart space here. Go inward. Notice the stretch in the hips and the release in the hips, and perhaps the stretch in the shoulder. If your arms are forward, you may want to shimmy your fingers forward a little bit farther and enjoy it. Use the breath, send it into every nook and cranny here of the back and shoulder space that opens into the groin. Exhale, let it go. 2 more huge breaths here in child's pose. Allow yourself to enjoy it. A pause once again to just be with whatever is in this moment, to stop resisting. No need to fix it or change it. No need to clarify the confusion or the lack of understanding or the wish for it to be different. When you're ready, shift back up to downward dog in whatever way feels good to you. Walk the dog for a moment, beginning to move. Sway your hips, have some fun with it. Bend one knee and the other. Press into your hands, hips reach up. Noticing what feels good to you. Walk your hands slowly back towards your feet. Come into a forward fold, widen your feet. Hands grasp your elbows, head and neck release completely. Fold, 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 fold. Knees are bent. Lift up all 10 toes. Sway from side to side. Lower your toes. Lower your hands towards the floor. Left hand comes between your feet. Spread your fingers of the left hand wide, palm on the earth. Bend your left knee, straight your right, twist to the right, roll that right wrist out. Lots of energetic twanginess in the outer right leg, IT band, back of the leg. Replace your right hand with bring your right hand to the floor, replace the left, reach the left towards the sky, bend the right knee, straight the left leg, breathe into it, roll your wrists. Lower your hand towards the floor. Engage your belly and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch by inch, as slowly as you can, kindly as the energetic shifts happen. Let the energy and the blood flow down through your body, out through your fingers, out through your toes. Pour it back into the earth. Let yourself arrive and just take a moment here, not rushing on to the next thing. And if there is a lack of clarity or a little dizziness, just allow yourself to sink into it and pause here.
No rush to go anywhere else. Lift up all 10 toes, stretch them wide, lower them down, the monkey toes, ground into the earth. Engage your belly, tilt your pelvis, stack your spine, puff your chest out towards the front. Take a huge inhale. Exhale, drop your shoulders, palms open towards the front, Tadasana or mountain pose. Notice we can be a mountain even in the moment of whatever else is swirling around us, even if it's jackhammers, confusion, people not acting like we think they should. Perhaps nobody understands you or your point of view. Take an inhale right into your chest, honoring all of that, all of the chaos. And exhale, allowing it to be there, trusting that the clarity will come. And inhale, noticing that there are things that you do know already. Your body knows. Your heart knows. Bring a hand to heart and a hand to belly. And a check-in here. What does your heart know? What does your belly know about where you are, what is happening? Our heart and our belly and our gut often know much more than our swirly, confused brain. Take a pause to check in with them, honor what they know. Bring your hands to heart center, palms together, thumbs connect to your sternum. Rise up onto your tiptoes into the wobbles, engaging everything. Both heels rise up towards the sky, high, high, high. Thumbs connect to the sternum to help you with your balance. Slowly bend your knees and lower down inch by inch through those wobbles, lowering your butt towards the floor, knees bend inch by inch, everything beginning to awaken. Slowly, 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 and pause at the bottom. Take a breath into all the pockets of tightness here. Breathe into it. Exhale, release. Notice the wiggles and wobbles in your ankles and your toes. Use the muscles in your toes and your ankles to hold you here. One more breath here at the bottom. Into every bit of tightness and folding. Exhale, release. Engage everything and rise up slowly. No rush to get to the top. Nowhere to go. We're moving through the wiggles and the wobbles, engaging them, enjoying them as they are, learning from them, learning the wisdom from each little muscle fiber that needs to be engaged. Lift all the way up. Stand tall, tall, tall on your tiptoes as high as you can, even if you're wobbling and tipping, and lower your heels down. Notice how you feel. Lift up all 10 toes, spread them wide, and lower them down. Take your right foot and just pick it up. We're going to come right into warrior 3 here for fun. Bring your ankle in front and roll it out in one direction and the other. You're standing tall on the left foot. Lower the right toes towards the floor. Shift your weight into your right foot. Lift up onto the tiptoes of your back foot and rise straight up into warrior 3. Your left foot is going to rise up behind you. If you can't raise your left leg, you'll just rock back and forth there. You can shift your weight. If warrior 3 works for you, press those thumbs right into your sternum, into your heart space, elbows out wide, strong and tall, even as you balance on one leg. If it would be fun, spread your arms out like Superman, like you're flying. You can bring them back by your waist. Some of you whose shoulders work well will want to extend them long. Notice what feels good to you and notice the awakening in all the muscles in the right strong standing leg. And notice what you can do, not what you can't, but what works. One more breath right into that heart space, filling your whole chest cavity up with nourishing breath, honoring every nook and cranny of tightness, resistance, wanting to fix all the things to do. And exhale, just softening into it, letting it be. No need to let it go. Fix it, solve it, change. Lower your back leg towards the earth and come back to standing. Perhaps wiggle your knees and your hips, roll out that right ankle once again, softening into the tightness. anything that's grabbing or cranky. Come back to stand. Your hands are still at heart center. Palms together, thumbs together. Press the thumbs once again into the sternum. Lift up your left foot and ankle. Roll the ankle out in one direction and the other. Already standing on the right leg here. Rock forward into the left foot. Come into warrior three on the other side. Raise your right leg up to hip height if that works for you, or you can rock back and forth if it doesn't. Hands to heart center, raise that right leg high, high, high. And decide what you would like to do with your hands on this side. Perhaps connecting to your heart space here, you're trusting that it will all work out, is the perfect spot. Some of you might want to play, spread your arms wide, long in front, whatever feels good. It may be very different than on the other side. And your warrior three may look different. You can play with pointing and flexing and rolling the right ankle as well as you're tipped forward in this position. When you're ready, bring the right leg down. You can rock back and forth for a moment, releasing some of the tension. Undo any tightness in both legs. Shake it out. We're going to come into tree pose. Raise all 5 toes on your left foot. Ground the 4 corners of the left foot into the earth and lower those toes down. Bring your right heel into the left calf. You may stay here just as a kickstand. Take a moment either way, hands on your hips. Stand up like that. Proud girl. Draw your knee back towards the back wall. Organize your hips so they are aligned and facing forward. Hands back on the hips. Slowly raise the sole of your right foot to the left calf. Tack the right knee back a bit more. Bring your hands to heart center. You can pause here if this is your most strong and graceful tree and feels authentic to you. Some of you will wish to raise your arms, branches up towards the sky, wiggle your fingers and branches. Notice what feels good. Neither is better or worse. You may notice your left standing leg sending you some messages. And embrace the wibbles and the wobbles. Lots of learning in them. We don't have to fix or solve them. When we soften into them, our balance improves. Our ability to learn from them and accommodate and adjust in tiny ways. We don't have to solve it all. Bring your hands back to heart center, palms together, draw your knee forward, lower that right leg and roll out any tension in either leg. We'll come to make a beautiful tree on the other side. Raise all 5 toes, spread them wide, 4 corners of your feet lower down, lower the toes. Kickstand that left foot. If you wish, raise the sole of your foot to the calf. I don't recommend going higher in this moment. You can if you wish. Draw that left knee back towards the back wall. If you wish, raise your arms up towards the sky in a majestic tree. Spread your fingers wide if they're reaching towards the sky. Stretch all fingers, engage all of the small hand muscles here. Stretch them wide. Notice the energetic shift that happens here. Notice when you spread your fingers, your toes wobble. Have fun with that. Softening into, we don't have to understand it all. Confusion is sometimes interesting. There's things to learn. Wobbles are interesting. There's things to learn. Bring your hands back to heart center. Draw your knee forward and lower it down. Shake it out. Roll your shoulders out. 3 times back. 3 times forward. Pinch your shoulders all the way up towards your ears as high, high, high as you can. Draw them back towards the back of the mat and lower them down, palms open towards the front. Tadasana or mountain pose. Taking a moment. Strong, everything engaged. It's not just a relaxation pose, it's an engaged pose. Strong, tall. Even in the midst of confusion, we can be an amazing mountain. Huge inhale breath and an exhale. And depending on where you are on your mat, come to the top of your mat. Inhale your arms out and up towards the sky. Slight arch back, fold forward, forward, fold. Inhale for a half lift. Spine is straight, butt sticks back. Notice all the sensations. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift once again. Engage the side body, your waist, your butt. Everything is working. Exhale, fold forward. Place your hands on the earth, spread all 5 fingers wide. Step back to downward dog. Pause and notice how you feel here. Press your hips up towards the back sky. Notice the energetic shifts in the back of the leg. Shift your weight forward to plank and pause. Engage everything strong and tall. Shift forward onto your tiptoes, bend your knees, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale for low cobra or up dog if you wish. Decide what works for you, what feels good to you. Curl your toes and press back to downward dog. Enjoying a bit more movement here. Slowly walk your feet or step, hop, or jump to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale for half lift, spine is straight, crown head reaches forward. Exhale, forward fold. Engage your belly and roll up all the way, arms open towards the outside, palms meet together, slight arch back, hands to heart center and pause. Notice and enjoy a moment. Noticing the shifting, the awakening. We'll do one more easy sun salutation before we transition to the floor. Lower your arms down by your sides, open them out, arch back, palms come together, slight arch, fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift, exhale, fold forward, palms to the earth, step back to plank. Shift forward onto your tiptoes, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale for up dog or low cobra, whatever feels good to you. Press back to down dog. Huge inhale here as you pause in down dog. Breathe into it. Exhale, release, let it go. Once again, huge inhale in down dog. Exhale, let it go, release. Lower from down dog right into tabletop. Bring your right foot forward. Come into a low lunge here. Bring your left knee back. Straight your hips towards the front of the mat. Reach your arms up towards the sky. A quick release of the left hip, the front of the hip flexor. Inhale, reach tall. Lots of confusion and tightness here. Wiggle those right toes farther forward if your right knee is bending in front of your ankle. Exhale, sink into it. Lower your hands to either side of that right foot. Slowly move it out to the outside of the right hand, draw it back, come back to hands and knees and switch feet. Bring the left foot forward. Wiggle the left toes forward, left knee bends. Back knee is on the earth. Slide the back knee back slightly. Inhale, both arms up, coming into a low lunge here. Tack that right hip back, left hip forward. Notice all the things happening on the right hip, the right lower back. Huge inhale, lengthen tall, 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 tall. And exhale, fold forward. Bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Replace it back in hands and knees. Shift your hips back. Come into child's pose. Walk your hands far in front.
Try knees together this time, folding forward. Head reaches towards the floor. Breathe into the outer edges of the shoulder blades, the armpits here. Huge breath in. And notice the pockets of tightness that you may feel here. Pockets of tangled yarn. Old stuff you're carrying. Resistance to how things are. A need to fix or fight or change. What if you can just soften into it for today? Slowly walk your hands up towards your knees. Swing your feet around and we'll come directly to sit. Stretch your legs long in front of you. Reach your arms long in front, parallel with your legs, and engage your belly. Roll down slowly to land on the earth, lying down. And if you don't land on your mat, take a moment to adjust. Huge inhale into your chest space here. And an exhale, let it go. Just notice how you feel now, perhaps different than when we began. Flip your palms over to face the floor. Bend your knees. Walk your heels towards your butt. Lift your right foot up. Place the right ankle, on the left knee, coming into a figure 4 stretch. Hands will thread around the left thigh, hug it in towards you. You'll pick up your left foot towards the sky. Some of you, this will be all you'll do. Some of you will leave that left foot on the floor. That's fine too. Flex both ankles to protect the knees. Right elbow can press into the right knee. Enjoy the opening in the right hip here. If you want, bring your hands to your left shin to open the hip up more. Breathing into that energetic shift there. Into any yarn tangles in the hip, any tense spasms, amorphous blobs of gray confusion, whatever it might be, send the breath there. Or resistance. If you notice the resistance, try to give it a color in your mind's eye. Notice all the paths of entry to it through that right hip. If your hands are on your shin, place them on the back of the left thigh. Extend the left leg towards the sky. Flex your left toes towards your nose and notice the energetic shifts in the back of the left leg. Press the left hamstring into your hands as you press the heel towards the sky, toes towards your nose. Point your left toe towards the sky. Flossing the fascia here and enjoying the sensations. Toes come towards your nose, heel presses towards the sky. Reach your toes towards the sky. Bend the left knee. Release your hands. Lower the left foot towards the floor. Raise your arms over your head in an easy cactus shape. Drop your right foot to the left, coming into a figure 4 twist. Outer edge of the left leg is on the floor, left knee is on the floor, right waist pops open a bit, perhaps the right hip. Inhale. Exhale, gaze to the left. Inhale once again. And exhale, breathing into every tight pocket of stress, resistance, tension. Not even having to melt it, just sending the breath there, noticing it, acknowledging it, allowing it to be there. Trusting that clarity and untangling will come with time. And that perhaps it hasn't come yet, because you haven't stopped resisting. What if allowing it, accepting it, owning it, honoring it, seeing it is the path forward? Bring your gaze back to center. Bring your knees back to center. Left sole of the foot's on the floor. Drop the right foot back towards the floor. Readjust your hips and your shoulders if need be. Pick up the left foot. Place the left ankle on the right knee. Rethread your hands around the right thigh. Pick up your right foot. Come into figure 4 on this side. Once again, check your ankles. Flex them to protect the knees. Press the left elbow into the left knee if that works for you. If your right foot's on the floor, you can press your left palm gently into the left knee and notice what happens if that feels good. Breathe into the energetic lines on that left side, whatever they look like for you. Letting the tightness, the twanginess, the discomfort, the uncertainty, blobs of whatever, tangles of yarn be there. Nothing to fix. Nothing's wrong with you if you don't know the answer yet. There's no urgency to figure it out. Trusting that all of this will melt and untangle, sort itself out in the end, when the time is right. Straight your right leg, reach the right heel towards the sky. Right toes come towards your nose. Press the right hamstring into your hands. Enjoy all that happens with that. Huge inhale and exhale. Point your right toe towards the sky. Excuse me. Right toes towards your nose. Once again, right toes towards the sky. Just acknowledging. Right toes towards your nose. Bend your right knee. Lower that right foot towards the floor. Release your hands from the thighs. Arms come to an easy cactus shape above you. If that doesn't work for your shoulders, figure out what does. Spread your arms wide. Hands can be loose. Take a huge inhale. Exhale, drop the left sole of the foot towards the right. Right knee, right outer thigh comes towards the floor. Left hip, waist pops open. Take an inhale. Gaze to the left. Release. Three more breaths here. Softening. Noticing your heart on an angle here. Is there anything under there? Any confusion, gray balls of yarn that you just want to acknowledge and see? Without judgment, letting it be. Resistance to someone else, or even resistance to yourself. Resisting the confusion itself. Thinking you should have clarity about all the things. Which might at this point in the class seem like, oh, of course I don't need that. Huge inhale, softening into that tangle. Exhale, release. Bring your chin back to center. Bring your knees back to center. Sole of the right foot comes to the floor, flat to the floor. Organize your hips, your shoulders. Untangle your knees, lowering your left foot towards the floor. Knees together, feet apart. Inhale. Drop your knees easily to the right for an easy twist. Left hip opens, left knee points towards the right front of the mat. Inhale, draw your knees together to center. Exhale, drop towards the left. Right knee connects to the front left corner of the mat. Come back to center. Once again, drop with ease towards the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop your knees towards the left. Right knee energetically connects to the front left corner. Come back to center. Reorganize your hips. Lower your arms down by your sides. Stretch your legs long in front. Allow your toes to fall towards the outer corner of the mat. Flip your palms up towards the sky about 6 inches from your waist, if that's comfortable. If that doesn't feel comfortable, perhaps bring a hand to heart, hand to belly to check in. Notice what feels more comfortable for you. Some people like double hands to belly. Allowing whichever of these positions feels like the right spot for you to come into Shavasana, final resting pose. Shavasana seems as if it would be the easiest pose, but it's the one that's hard. We drop in, we surrender, we let go. And as we think about confusion and resistance and frustration and wanting things to be different, wanting to know, wanting to understand the path forward, wanting to find the solutions, allowing yourself to soften in here and let go of all of that. Allowing the confusion, allowing the lack of clarity, allowing yourself to be right here in this moment as you are. Taking a huge inhale and an exhale, and let go of the breath. Let go of the control of everything, anything. Letting your body rest and relax. Letting the thoughts flow in and flow out. A few moments to just enjoy, to be, to relax. Nothing to do, nothing to fix. Nowhere to be but here in this moment with yourself, resting. If you wish to stay in Shavasana longer, absolutely do. That's the beauty of Zoom and YouTube yoga. For those of you who wish, gently begin to deepen your breath. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a big inhale, stretch your arms long above and your toes long in front, filling yourself up, stretching in either direction, waking up from an ever so brief but long feeling winter's nap. Huge exhale, release. Draw your knees into your chest and roll over to one side. Pause. Take a moment to appreciate yourself for taking time for yourself this morning, for your willingness to explore some of those pockets of tightness, messages in your body, spots of confusion, frustration, resistance, playing with it, allowing yourself to soften it and explore, and just see what might happen in that softer space. When you're ready, press into your hands and come up to a comfortable seat where we began, whatever that might look like for you. When you arrive, tilt your pelvis forward, stack your spine, align each vertebrae one atop the other, all the way up through the neck, through the crown of your head. Huge exhale, drop your shoulders. Bring a hand to heart and another hand to tongue.
appreciating yourself, sending yourself grace, compassion, kindness, love, and acceptance for wherever you might be in this moment of time, whatever feelings you might have, whether they be confusion, resistance, anger, frustration, or even love and happiness. No judgment, only curiosity, compassion, kindness. Bring your hands to heart center, press your thumbs into your sternum. Take a huge inhale and exhale. Thank you all for practicing with me today. May you all have a beautiful week ahead.